All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about a stock that is having one of the biggest days in the history of the stock market. It could turn out to be the biggest day in the history of the stock market. I also want to mention this is a stock that I have been wrong on all year. So we'll talk more about that later. The stock that I'm talking about is NVIDIA, stock ticker NVDA. They are a chip maker. They announced earnings after hours yesterday, and the reaction is absolutely mind-boggling. We'll go through the numbers, but they're up about $175 billion on the day today. The day's not over. That is very close to the biggest day in the history of the stock market, so they could take a run at that. This is not the first good day NVIDIA has had this year. On their previous earnings, they were up about $75 billion in one day. That's a historic day. This time is a little more understandable. The last time, I will say, I was a little confused. They beat by a little bit, but the enthusiasm was there. This time, they did have a very nice beat, and their guidance was absolutely unbelievable. Having said all that, I will tell you, this is why I don't short stocks, because in my mind, this stock is still wildly overvalued. And I know that probably most of you are going to disagree with me on that, and that's okay. That's the point of investing. Everybody is allowed to have their own opinion. But to me, this is coming up on $1 trillion market cap. This makes this one of the biggest companies in the history of the world. And I'm going to compare it to some of the other large cap companies and show you why I think this is out of balance. $1 trillion is unbelievable. And this is the second time this stock has had a monumental run-up. So right now it's trading in the middle of the day. It's up over 25%, 25.5%. In pre-market, it was up very nearly 30%. So we'll see where it ends the day. It has been fluctuating, but this brings it up to $383. Its high during the market open is $385, which it reached earlier today. So that puts this at a market cap of about $950 billion, just short of $1 trillion. So they're a stone's throw away from being where only six companies have ever been before in the history of the stock market. Let's take a quick look at their earnings that they reported and just how good of a report this was. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe to the channel. You can also smash the like button and hit the notification bell so you never miss the video. It helps the channel out a lot, so it means a lot to the channel, and I want to thank all my existing subscribers for your support. Okay, NVIDIA Corp on Wednesday forecast second quarter revenue more than 50% above Wall Street estimates. So to me, that's unheard of. This is an absolute spectacular beat. Now, that is the forecast. That's not their actual performance. Their performance, they did have a small beat, and it was good performance, but this forecast is out of this world. You just don't see a company of this size beating Wall Street's estimates by this much. So that, I think, is what's going on here today. So in response to that, it is having a historic run up. It's boosting supply to meet surging demand for its artificial intelligence chips, and that's what this report is all about. That's what their growth is all about. This is an AI play. In addition to the other things that they do, right? They dominate a lot of the chip market already, and they are out in front in this AI portion of it. And this is more of a pick and shovel play for those of you who are familiar with that. Essentially, instead of buying the actual artificial intelligence stocks, you're buying the company that's providing the chip for them. And NVIDIA is absolutely the leader in that. Their sales, as you can see, are going ballistic. Their sales forecast is 50% higher than the street was expecting. They're going to be somewhere, even if they don't quite get there, they're going to be somewhere approaching $200 billion gain on the day, which is just staggering. And I want to put that in perspective for just 1 second. Okay, this is a list of the largest companies in the United States, and I'm starting at number 33 for a reason. AMD, Intel, Taiwan Semiconductor, Nvidia, there's not a lot of plays in the chip space. These are the big players. This is certainly one of their direct competitors, and it's getting a nice bump on the day. But to put it in perspective, these were peers. At one point, AMD was bigger than Nvidia. Now, NVIDIA grew more today in just one day than AMD has in its entire history. You're going to see a lot of other familiar names on here. Adobe. NVIDIA grew more today than Adobe's entire history. NVIDIA grew more today than the entire company of Nike. You're also going to see Walt Disney on this list. So just today's growth in NVIDIA is larger than the entire market cap of Walt Disney, Netflix, Wells Fargo. So I could go on, but you can see just how historic this is. You're going to see Nvidia is now number 5. Only Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, and Amazon are larger than Nvidia by market cap right now. Okay, so just to put some numbers to this, you can see Nvidia's forecast current quarter revenue of $11 billion. Analysts had estimated $7.15 billion. So that's how much they beat on their forecast. That is a game-changing amount. Having said that, I want to take a look at some numbers and tell you why I still think this is very, very overvalued. This is getting overheated. And I'll say what I always say, that doesn't mean that it's reached its top yet. When stocks get going like this, there's no telling where the top is, which is why I do have a rule that I just don't short stocks. There is no fighting momentum, and this stock has momentum. And although I thought it was overvalued $300 or $400 billion ago, here we are approaching $1 trillion valuation, and we don't know where it goes from there. Okay, so one of the things I want to point out is price per sales. This is trading at 26 times sales. The other computer chip making companies are anywhere from 2 times sales to 5 times sales. So to me, that's one of the indicators that this is very, very overpriced, right? Most companies are lucky to be 26 times earnings. That would be a very good number. They're 26 times sales. This is very rare territory. So you can see their PE ratio from a trailing 12-month standpoint here. Right now, Yahoo is calculating this at 220. So a 220 PE. And if you do on forward earnings, it's going to be less than that. It'll still be well over 100 or 150. I mean, these are astronomical numbers. High growth companies are trading at, a 30 PE. This is a 220 PE. So these are the reasons why I feel that this stock is overheated. I know that's not a popular opinion. Obviously, the market has spoken. This stock continues to skyrocket. But when I look at some of the fundamentals over time, I expect this company will even out. I just don't see how it can catch up to this valuation. Having said that, I'm not saying this isn't a good company. This is a fantastic company. I've talked about this company before, and I've always said this is a great, great company. I just can't understand the valuation on this company. So, and here we go again. Now it's gone to another level completely. This is what the stock did on its previous earnings report just last quarter. It was up about 14 or 15% on the day. Again, that was about a $75 billion jump. So that was one of the greatest days in the history of the market. But today is just blowing that away. Okay, so here we are in today's earnings. I circled this up here because it's such a gigantic gap. You can't even really see today on this. So if I measure to this line, it's up about 25% right now. We'll see where it ends up at the end of the day, but this continues a historic journey. The stock was already up 127% this year. So if I go from its bottom last October until today, which is late May, this stock is up 251%. So for those of you who dollar cost averaged in or happen to get in near the bottom, this has been a home run. Congratulations to you. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. So I will tell you, I have stayed away from this stock. It continues its momentum and it continues to race upward. And I will say, I am still of the belief that at some point this will settle down, but there's no telling when, and there's no telling how high this can get in between. So again, that's why I always caution everybody, be careful. So if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next video.